Hi, everybody. My name's Scott Hillier, independent film director and president of the ECU Film Festival Group, which is 4 film festivals. The European Independent Film Festival here in Paris, which will be taking place in a couple of weeks' time, on April 24, 25, 26. The All Asian Independent Film Festival, the All African Independent Film Festival, and the recently launched the All Americas Independent Film Festival. But today we're very, very honored, proud, excited, and happy to be able to speak to 4 of the filmmakers that are in competition here in Paris at the end of April. We're going to talk to 4 of them. We're going to find out a little bit about them, a little bit about their works, and then we're going to have the ECU crew ask them some deep and meaningful questions. Again, welcome very much to all 4 of you. What we're going to do is we're going to start with Hanadi, whose film is KISMET, and it's in the Arab Special Selection. Hanadi is a transnational filmmaker driven by a lifelong passion for storytelling. They're the type of people we like. Her latest film that's been released, not this one that we're about to show in Paris, but it's called Salma's Home, was ranked amongst Netflix top 10 stream filmed in Jordan for 4 weeks. She was born in Dubai and spent her childhood between the UAE and Jordan, and studied in UCLA. Wow, that's fabulous. Hanadi, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for making this happen, and it's a pleasure meeting you. And thanks for the nice intro.
There you go. I've got clever young things to write things up. Hanadi, tell me a little bit about you and up to this point in your sort of professional filmmaking life.
Yeah, I'm a filmmaker. I'm Arab. I'm Palestinian Jordanian, and I currently live in Boston. I teach filmmaking. I'm a professor at Emerson College, and I'm the graduate program director for the film and media art there. And My style of filmmaking has been always narrative, and I've done comedies and dramas, but this project, Kismet, is a first for me in different ways because it's the first time I'm directing something I didn't write. So I had pitched the idea to a writer, and he wrote the script. And it's the first time that I have like surreal elements in a project. Everything that I've done in the past has been like very traditional filmmaking. This one, yeah, I wanted to experiment. I know the term experiment is a loose one, but I wanted to try something different, and I didn't want to risk it with a feature.
Can you
Uh,
just give us a brief description about the film, about what
oh,
it's
well,
about?
you have to watch You just have to watch it, but it's a story about a Palestinian immigrant mom who hasn't seen her son in a while, and she's preparing to see him. He's gonna travel, but that's when she meets the angel of death. So um, it's out there. It's pretty different, and that gave me a lot of artistic liberty to try different things visually. And I'm really eager to see what the audience feels like when it screens in Paris next month.
Wow, it's amazing. I love the one of the words that struck me there was liberty, because independent filmmaking is very, very hard, as we all attest. But the price of our liberty is the fact that we have no money and get no sleep and stuff like that. But it's fabulous that you can tell these stories. We're going to be speaking with Omar shortly. Just to let both of you know, the Arab Special Selection, the award for that is the Ahmed Kadir Excellence in Arab Filmmaking Award. Ahmed was a very, very good friend of mine, producer. I made several films with him out there in the UAE. Unfortunately, he passed 6 or 7 years ago. So we honor him with the awarding of this film. And I know for sure that he'd be happy to see your film and Omar's film as well. Omar, how are you?
I'm doing okay, Scott. How are you?
Oh, mate, I'm always good. I'm always good. Let me read out a
Good to
little bit
hear
of an
you.
introduction about you. You hold a master's degree in film and television production from a university in Cambridge, and has EP'd and directed several fictional and factual productions for both the big and small screens. I'm tired even saying that. You must be exhausted, young man. How are you doing?
Well, you're right, man. I am exhausted, but that's the nature of our job.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Why don't you give us a little brief talk about you up to your point in the filmmaking world?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I always say to people that I've been doing this for 8 or 9 years, but I still feel that there are a lot of room to learn. With every project, there's always something new to learn. And it's funny to mention that I'm originally a dentist. So I actually quit my profession a long time ago. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And my heart was always in films. Like I used to play a lot with, old digital cameras, film cameras, all sort of stuff. But I didn't really have the awareness to actually pursue it professionally. And then I think right in the middle of college when I was studying dentistry, like, yeah, this is not for me. I'm just gonna go to film because I think that's more fun. And I never regret that decision at all. And that's why I moved to Cambridge to the UK to study, filmmaking professionally. And because I had like a good track of short films, not really professional, but they were good and they actually helped me to, get into the university there for a master's degree. So yeah, ever since that, I've been directing and writing and helping people make their films as much as I can.
Um, amazing, amazing dentist. I mean, gosh. Um, what about talk to me a little bit about eyelash.
Eyelashes is primarily a feature, and I wrote it in March 2023, and I had to turn it into like a proof of concept. Like I picked some pages from the middle in order to make it as a proof of concept, and we were really lucky getting funds for it because, as you all made it well know, it's really challenging to get funds from a grant. Like I applied for the BFI fund and other grants across the Middle East. We didn't get any. And it's like, you know what? The cavalry ain't coming, you know? And I had to pay for my own money to make the short film, right? Because I truly believe in that short. And it's basically, it talks about my journey moving to the UK. And so it's like an immigrant story. Basically, it's an immigrant story talking about a character named Muhammad who's trying to be an actor, right, in London. But the caveat is like he's a hardcore Muslim, so his faith is getting challenged, in every step of his way. So yeah,
Great, great. It's a great story and very, very well done, by the way. Very, very well done.
thank
Um,
you.
we're going to jump to Katia. Katia, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing well, thank you. I'm sorry I was a little late. I swapped over. I tend to do this, right is left, left is right. So in my mind, I live in London and I thought, oh, I have loads of time this 1 p.m. And then suddenly I thought, actually, is it the reverse? So I'm very sorry.
No worries at all. Katia, let me give a little introduction of you. Artist and filmmaker with a background in dance, London-based, originally from Switzerland with Czech and Argentinian roots. Now that's a wild card there, isn't it? You
Yes.
graduated from the National Film and Television School. I went to that many, many years ago when rainbows were in black and white when I went there, but I had a great time. Directing animation, your graduation film Triptych, screened at BAFTA and Oscar qualifying festivals internationally. Congratulations. Tell me a little bit about you.
Oh, thank you. It's a bit complicated. I think in a way, my identity links a bit to my short film that's screening at your festival. But both of my parents were refugees at different points in their lives. My mother as a child in the early 1950s, so just after the post-war period, and my father as a young man. He had to leave Argentina and had to seek political asylum in Switzerland. So I think for me, I've always had in me this idea of thinking, well, you can't escape the fact of displacement and identity, and I've always been very interested in history to kind of try to make sense of my own identity in that way. I was always very interested in the arts and telling stories in general, so I studied a lot of dance, art. I also love literature, and I found film by accident in a way because I was doing projects with older people. And I landed an amazing job at a care home in just outside London called Denville Hall. It's a care home set up for actors, predominantly because actors, many of them don't earn a lot of money through their lifetime. So it was a place that they could come, and it's a charity to sort of support them so they have a place to live. And so I was working there in terms of organizing activities for the home. And one of my tasks was screening 3 films a week. Amongst a community of thespians. And I had to sit in the screenings with them, and then they wanted to talk about the films afterwards. And it was through that process that I started realizing that film, in a way, incorporated a lot of the ideas that I was interested in. And I also realized I love actors. I think they're amazing artists to collaborate with. And so I thought, how can I get into film and study film, and I thought, well, maybe animation would make most sense because of my background in dance and art, so it made sense. I also didn't expect to get in so quickly, so I got in on the first round, and the year I got in, they were only accepting 8 students a year on the master's, so it kind of came as a shock to me. So I still love animation, but ultimately I also love actors, and so even for my graduation film, I found a way to incorporate working with an actor a bit, because I think they make great collaborators when you're shaping a film.
Yeah, I mean, I love them and hate them because I love what they do and they can do it. I just don't understand them at all. But yes, we need them. We love them. It's a craft. Yes. Give us a brief sort of synopsis of your film.
I think so my film is an experimental film, and I would think the best way of describing it is a space for reflection. So I've used World War II archive material, but I've decontextualized it, and I've edited it alongside dramatizations with an actress. So you can't really tell, I hope you can't really tell the past and the present, and also you don't know what you're looking at in terms of what nationality or what religion the person is, so you're just really in the moment, in the experience, and reflecting on the people that you're seeing.
Well done. It's a very interesting film to watch, and we're very happy. So we're going to back over to the States. We've got poor Audrey Olsen up way too early in the morning. Audrey is a graduate of Chapman University Film School, Emmy-nominated teleproducer. She makes documentaries that have a meaningful impact, and you definitely had an impact on my office when we were screening the film here during the selection process. Audrey, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll go on and talk about PUNKIE.
Yes, thank you for having me, and thank you for recognizing the film. I went to Chapman University Film School, and I always just loved, the real stories and telling people's real stories and trying to find the realism in things. And I moved on to work in television, unscripted television, a lot of follow doc TV here in the States. And, you kind of do the work that pays your bills, and then you finally get to a point where you say you want to make something that, is from your heart and has meaning and is hopefully going to send a positive message into the world. And so that was the motivation for making PUNKIE and for bringing her story to light.
Yes, I tend to call it, I work in a form of prostitution, basically, when I'm making films that I have to do to pay the bills. But yes, the idea of striking out and doing it yourself, and your documentary is very raw and deep and fascinating. So yes, it all pays off when we do those things that we have to do for money. Let's just talk a bit about PUNKIE.
Yeah, so I met PUNKIE. I had seen some videos of her. I knew of her in the comedy world. I was going to a lot of comedy shows. And she's just so charismatic, and like in the in the film, her stepdad describes her as someone who she could sell an air conditioner to the devil, and that's true. She's just, I mean, people just flock to her. They love her, and I felt the same way. And I reached out to her and just said, "Hey, I know you're going on a comedy tour. Could I come with you?" And she agreed. And I really didn't know what was going to happen, and those are like the real stories that I like to follow. Is the one you have no idea, but you know that there is a story there. And so then that turned into just following her for about 3 years, and it was wild. It was the wildest time. We went all over the country. And she really is just like the best person to make a documentary with, because she's so open and honest, and she's so lovable, and she's just a great person, and her life is just chaotic in the best and the worst in all of the ways. So yeah, that's kind of how it came about, and that's we've become really good friends, and she's a great person. I'm happy to be a part of telling her story.
Well, it's chaos reigns in my office and the film festival many times, so we like chaos and chaotic things, but fabulous. Now we're going to bounce over to China, because the next filmmaker, Wang Jun, is a award-winning filmmaker from Ecu Film Festival 2020. The Journey of a Murderer won the best non-European dramatic feature then. I've known this man's work for quite a while, and I am astonished every time I see it. He makes me sit back and think. I don't even need to know that it's his name on the credits when I see one of his films. It's that extraordinary. So I'd like to welcome Wang Jun from China. How are you, man?
Then please allow me to make a short in translation to Mr. Wang. Okay. Hi everyone. Can you hear the voice from Mr. Wang Jun?
We wanted to please let him know that we're very, very, very excited to be able to screen his film here in Paris again, and we love his film to death.
So, Director Wang's new film's title is The Village of Wind. So from the very beginning, he did not know very clearly about what he's going to show. But we took his whole 7-person crew to this on-site. He immediately realized what he needed to do. So. And the state person find themselves in after the pandemic, the caught between the time and space. That's the philosophy of the film, to talking about the philosophy of time after the pandemic era. So before he started shooting, he had not really figured out everything out. He just had a feeling, a very personal one, born from his own experience of surviving the 3 years, the pandemic years. So he thought that others might share that same feelings as well, so he decided to make this film. When he set out with his crew, he didn't know what exactly he needed to shoot, but at the moment he arrived at the location, he shooted the first day about 6 scenes. During that night, and he studied writing the script. And that's how it went for 7 days. Shoot during the day and write at night for the next day. They finished the whole film in about just 7 days.
Wow. 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 Can you please explain to this fabulously talented man that I can see one of his films by just looking at it without needing to know that he's done it. He's so special in his filmmaking techniques.
Thank you.
You're very good, man. Thank you. Okay, and for those of you who come to Paris to see the film, it's astonishing. The visuals are amazing, and just now hearing that it only took 7 days to make, and writing at night and shooting it at day, my goodness, that takes the cake for us. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand the reins over to Chiara, who's going to ask the crew here to ask some deeply personal questions for you filmmakers. So be aware, be scared. It's all yours, Chiara.
Hello, hi. First of all, congratulations for being selected. We're very, very excited. And I think almost all of you already know me because we did a Q&A in private. And you may know how excited I was and willing to ask your question. But here today, not only me, but also other members of the teams are very, very excited to ask you some questions. But for now, the first questions come from me, and I'm gonna ask the question to Katia. Can you hear me?
I can, thank you. I'm ready.
Okay. So your background in dancing is really, really fascinating. So I wanted to know if in some way movement influence the way you think about cinema and memories also.
It's a very good question. I think I really loved ballet as a young child. I think like a lot of girls do. And in ballet you tell stories without words. But it's linked with images and movement, but also music. And I think that's what interested me in cinema, was the relationship between sound, music, text, and image, and how that relationship coexists. And then the choreography of a shot, the rhythm of how you cut scenes. So it actually incorporated it. I was also thinking how one of the classical ballets that we still perform today is called Giselle, and it's set in a forest, and it's about spirits that come out in the forest at night, and there's one spirit that interacts with a man. And so I realized actually throughout a lot of my life I've been very much interested in spiritual spaces found in nature, and I realized while I was there in Giselle. So yeah, so maybe Fiona is Giselle in her own way in the forest in my short film, perhaps.
Thank you so much. I really think that dance and movements are a really nice skill and background tools for other projects and other arts. So thank you so much. And the next question actually comes from Anastasia.
Hi. It's very nice to meet you, that I meet you, all of you. My question is for Hanadi.
Yes, okay. Yeah, sorry, there was feedback.
Yeah, it's okay. Nice to meet you. I really enjoy your movie. I think your movie brings a lot of emotions into the surface, because it touches concepts, deep meaning concepts like love, loss, and destiny. And I really want to ask you, how do you personally interpret the idea of KISMET? And what does the word mean to you, and how you think this word is mirroring to everybody?
Oh, thank you so much for that question. The main idea came from 1001 Nights. There's a chapter about a merchant who like sees death in a market and then ends up being spooked away and running far, 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 and inevitably running towards their destiny by that first interaction. So I was always fascinated with the story, and I struggled to modernize it. It made sense more when it was made because of, back in the day it was hard to travel. Now you can arrive at the end of the world within a day. So we had to find ways to make it make sense in today's world. But also it has themes of immigration, something that I've made a project about in the past, and the immigrant life and refugee life. And these are all themes that are always brewing in my mind. There is visually, I also wanted to be more overtly clear with my influences, because as filmmakers we've watched a ton of things and you don't know how these influences emerge in your next project. But I wanted to be much more deliberate. So you might notice some influences from Ingmar Bergman's Seventh Seal. There's Krzysztof Kieslowski's Blue with some visual elements there. So all of that was trying to be packed in this tiny tiny short that I'm trying to do something different in. Did I answer your question?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for your answer. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay, so the next question actually comes from Alessandra.
Hi, nice to meet you. So my question is for Omar.
Yeah, shoot, go ahead, I'm ready.
So I actually really like your film. It was so deep, really interesting, really beautiful. But I wanted to ask you more about your role, because you both directed and also acted in the film. So I wanted to ask you, how did this dual role shape both the performance and the vision of what you wanted to do for the film?
Right, yeah. First of all, thank you so much for your kind words. And this is a good question. So directing and acting, especially if you're the main protagonist, is not as easy as people think. Like if you're doing a cameo, it's fine. But if the story revolves around you, this is where it gets stuck, right? So, I mean, from early on, I knew that I'm gonna act in that short film. And I had to hire or gather really great team that I really trust, right? So, because I'm acting, I didn't get the chance to watch the playback after each shot, right? So I had this kind of trust between the cinematographers and I. It's like for me, I run through the blocking with them, the shot list and everything. So we're kind of ready about that. But also, when we're shooting, I'm in the 3D space with the actors, right? So I can feel the performance. Of course, I talk to the actors before we go for a take and we go through rehearsals and whatnot. But because I'm in there, like in it with them, I can feel, the performance. So I would just give a thumbs up to the cinematographer if I'm happy with the performance and everything. And they would give me a thumbs up if they're good, like if they're happy with the lighting, the focus, all the technical stuff, right? And then we move on. So I didn't actually watch the dailies, at all. I watched it when we were editing the film. It's like, oh, this is a good shot. Oh, this is. Like, I don't know, but it's just I was literally depending on them and depending on the whole team. My first director, he was like guiding through the whole thing, and he was giving me you know, the like the start or a take or something. So without all that, we wouldn't have been able to do the short, you know. And in terms of my performance, my personal performance, Robert Firth was also acting the film. He's Dave, the character David, the theatrical agent. He's like, you know, my acting coach, and not per se, but we both live in London, and we go for long walks and whatnot, and we talk about acting as we were walking, as we were having lunch, as we were having dinner, and that really helped ground the performance, you know, like my performance and the performance that I'm looking for in each and every character. So yeah.
Thank you so much. It was really interesting. I think it's hard work, but of course, when you like something, you do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Omar,
the great question.
I have a question for you as well, man.
Shoot, Scott.
How long did it take you to grow your beard?
Ooh, it took almost 9 months or 10 months.
Try and explain
without
that.
Shaving it.
Yeah, talk to people. Trying to explain that to people that you run into the streets. No, really, it's me. I'm making it for a film, so I barely recognize you without.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that, because when we're shooting in London, it's like you see me in a costume with a big beard, and police came to us, and it's like, you know, hey, I just want to ask you what you're filming. I told them, oh, it's totally fine. We're not here for trouble. We're just filming an independent film. I wrote it, and I'm directing it, but also I'm acting in it. And I know that this looks weird, but
please
yeah,
describe
cool,
please describe the weirdness. What's the costume?
So, right. So in the film, the character Mohammed, that's the main actor, the main protagonist, wears a bright pink pig costume, and he's a hardcore Muslim, so his beard is like this big, right? So if you see someone like that running on the streets, you know, and there's a camera, so something's off. So when the detectives came, because they were like dressed like a civilian, they weren't wearing their uniforms. So they started asking questions, you know, what the film is about. Are there any institutions or organizations behind that? Because at that time, there were a lot of protests, you know, for Gaza and all that. So that was happening, but in different areas of London. And they were like, we just want to make sure that you're not making trouble. I told them, no, not at all. And I explained the whole thing to them, and they were really helpful. It's like, okay, we just wanted to make sure. It's just, you know, security protocol. And I told them, oh, I totally understand. And they actually were kind enough to inform all the people, like all the sergeants around the House of Parliament, because I was filming near the Big Ben, like near the House of Parliament. So it's like a high risk area, right? They informed all the sergeants there that, you know, there's a guy filming, and nobody bothered us at all, and everything went smoothly. I was like, whew, I'm really glad that this passed.
I would love to have heard that radio call. Hi, there's a really weird heavily bearded man running around in a pink pig suit. That's a good radio call.
Definitely.
If I could add to Omar, I was going to say it's very impressive what you were able to do, because I live in London as well. And one of the constraints that we had with shooting our short film was that London is actually very strict with filming restrictions. And it was actually Fiona, the actress in our film, who helped me find a location. Because and that's why part of the reasons why we don't have sound in my film, because if our crew was 5 or less, then we didn't need a filming license. And I was checking online, and it was shocking how quickly police would disrupt shoots that don't have a license. So we specifically found the Hampstead Heath extension, which is in Barnet. It doesn't fall under the City of London. And then we decided we're not going to have sound, because if we have sound, then we can't shoot on film. and film is more important than sound in this instance. So I would say I'm very impressed what you pulled off.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, I was kind of aware of that issue, and that's why, like, so we were like a crew of literally 5, right? But we were kind of spread out. So we were just talking on the phone, like we're 2 or 3 people, we're like on the other side, way far from us. And then I had my DP with me, and I think my producer was there. No, he wasn't there. And then so we're like, yeah, we were like 4 or 5, right? So when the police came, we were like only 3. It's like, oh yeah, guys, we're just a group of 3. I'm the actor, he's the cinematographer, here's the camera, and we weren't using like fancy rigs or something. So we kept it at, you know, very minimum, because I knew that if the police didn't like it, they're not going to allow us to film, right? So yeah, I was very aware of that, and I mean, I'm so grateful that this happened and they allowed us to film, which made it great on the big screen. And with the sound, I knew from the start that I don't need sound; it's going to be put later in post. So I didn't care for that, and we didn't have a boom operator following me. Nope, nothing. Just very simple. Even with the camera movement, very simple. Nothing too fancy, because I know if I did something, you know, incredibly obvious, then I'm in for a little trouble. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And now going back with the Q&A, the next question comes from Rosella.
What I was wondering is there something that drew you specifically to Punkie Johnson, like something that resonates with you on a more personal level?
From once I started shooting with her on a personal level, she just is someone that was really pushing through a lot of excuse me, she was pushing through a lot of like hard, difficult times in her life. And at the time, I had lost my partner of 16 years. He passed away, and I had to do something different than going back to like my regular jobs and things like that. She really just seeing her go through, like she's going through a divorce, and she's going through like these really difficult career paths, and just trying to like appease everybody. And just, it made me want, like, seeing her go through what she was going through was helping me go through what I was going through. And so that just motivated me to keep going and going and going with her. And then on top of that, if you ever, I mean, you get this in the film and people say it, but just being around her, she's just one of those people that makes a room like turn their head and want to be in her aura. Like, she just is like one of those people. And so yeah, those were the points that drew me towards her.
All right, thank you so much for your answer.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Audrey, I'm just going to jump in here. As a documentarian, I've made a lot of these things, and a lot of the clever young things that you see around here at the Echo Crew make films with us. But shooting for 3 years, how many hours of material did you have to actually edit with before you brought it down to the finished film?
So I had about 500 hours. A big chunk of those hours were her sets, because I would film all of her sets. But I would film probably 8 hours a day, between 8 and 10 hours a day for 3 days. And then we'd have like a week off, and then we'd go out again. But from the beginning, I started editing like the pieces that I thought would be a part of it. So I didn't shoot everything and then start going through it at the end. And because that, you'd maybe see me in 6 years from now. So that was helpful. I'm glad that I did that I was like looking at the footage, you know, throughout the whole process and kind of being like, okay, this is sort of the direction it's going in.
I would suspect that after all that shooting plus editing, you can stand up on a comedy stage right now and you've got the set complete and it's all done. You can recite it line by line.
Yes, I can, and I've joked about that before. If anything ever happens to her, I can recite the whole special backwards and forwards. And if in the audience is like, still to this day, if she forgets something, she'll be like, "Am I leaving anything out?" And I'll be like, there's one more." So yeah, but I could watch I could watch it over and over and over and over again. I think it's funny every single time. So she's very excited about that too, to get that special.
Thank you so much, Audrey. And now we come to the last question, and it comes from Ekaterina.
Hi everyone. I actually have two questions. The first one to Katia. Nice to meet you. My name is Katia as well, and I'm applying for NFTS right now. Actually, I think it's an amazing place to study. So you already told us
about the music that you had to remove it. So, and I'm also aware about the situation around the tax relief and the inward investment in the UK. So UK is now becoming like a surrogate for US studio productions. What could you say about being independent these days? And do you think being independent is a way to preserve your voice?
Thank you. It's a very good question and very nice to meet you. It's not very often that I meet another Katia. So as people may know, Katia is the nickname in short for Russian for Yekaterina. So it's very nice. I think I can only speak from experience. I've been working in the television industry mostly for my paid work from around 2019 onwards. I think we're in a very challenging space in the UK at present. There are funding cuts across the board, and that includes film. So both, and what's compounded as well is that both the corporate sector, so what used to be television, there's also reduced funding. So I think the space for filmmaking in England at the moment is incredibly challenging. And as Omar was explaining, there's also a lot of police control in general about limiting your ability. And I haven't found, although I have some friends that have managed to get BFI film funding, it's an incredibly competitive space. And if you think of the amount of people in the UK for the amounts of funds there are to fund films, it's very small. So I think you do it, on the flip side, if you are independent, then you have the freedom to do what you want, because I do find in the UK, definitely in the corporate sector with television, you have very little freedom on how you get to shape a film. And I know a lot of documentaries that you see on television, the so-called director is really a director for hire. They're not, it's the commissioner ultimately that makes the choices about editing, about casting, about a lot of things that fall outside your hands. There are exceptions with people who manage to navigate that space, but it's very, very hard. So it's kind of there's a flip side, because then if you are on your own trying to make a film, it can be very difficult. And ultimately, I think we all make films because we like collaborating. So it's true we can make a film on our phone, on ourselves in our bedroom, but that's not really why we make films. But at the same time, I think when there are limitations, then that is when very interesting things happen. And it is possible to find solutions, and then things somehow always come together. But it's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah.
The second question would be to Wanju. My question would be, waiting seems to be the central of the story, and you told us that you've been filming it during the COVID times. I can imagine what it was like. I know what China experienced that time, and so do you think what waiting represents for you, actually?
So, as you just said, I made this film because I want to express the feelings of the feeling of the whole world. Even though we know that every country has their own has its own specific circumstances and situations, but this pandemic has put all of us in the same place. We're sharing the same we're sharing the same danger. We're sharing the same fear. Making the film meant that processing what I went through during this pandemic. I realized that no matter what country we're from, all of our humanity can suddenly face the same danger. So when it comes to a virus, that's everyone's problem. So there was a deep fear hidden in all of us hearts. So that's why the female that lead keeps waiting for a hero in this film. I was really calling out, is there a hero that can make us feel safe? So that's then there's a question of time. Those 3 or 4 pandemic years had passed so fast, like they were stolen from us. We don't know where the time went. No clear memories, and the feelings are all empty. So in the end, I used a 15-minute long take shoot. I placed this actress in an Asian city in Henan province. So there were about 10,000 people there that day. However, she just moved through it all and completed the whole scene. And I think it's very lucky. Nobody paid attention to the camera. So maybe it expressed perfectly what I want to share. The completely empty feelings during this pandemic.
Okay, I'm gonna take over now and ask a quick question. Hi Molly, I'm going to ask it to you, and you can ask this fabulous film director. He said that he would shoot at day and work at night and give the script to the actors. What did they think of that? Because actors generally like to have the script a little bit beforehand. What was their feelings?
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful question. And before I related to this, I need to express my great thankfulness to the chairman to echo. Over the past, this is my 3rd time here. So over the past 10 years, I've made about 28 films. I'm a very emotional person, and my first degree was in oil painting. My second degree was in theater directing at the Central Academy of Drama. So I carry a painter's sensitivity in everything I do. My actors and crew have stayed together for 10 years. So I think they are very used to this way of working. We're all emotional people. We talk, we reach a shared understanding of the question we want to explore, and then we go. I threw this idea to them. If they feel it can work, then we go. And I need to say that that time was actually the first time I worked without my usual cinematographer. He was on another film, so I have to pick up the camera myself.
Wow, really? My goodness gracious me. Tell him he should have called me. I would come and shoot his film for him.
Okay. Thank you for this. And I think next time maybe better we can work together.
I look forward to it. I would find it very hard to reach his level of genius, but wow, well done. And for those of you who haven't seen the film, you can look back at the playback of this podcast, and we're going to be putting clips on it. This man just sees things different than we do, and we love having him involved in the festival. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about the festival here. On the 24th, 25th, and 26th of April, we'll be screening 50 of the world's best independent films here in Paris. And it's very exciting as you're listening to these filmmakers talk about their films, and the fact that we'll be able to show them to a great public here in Paris. It's very rewarding for us, and all of the hard work that you guys do, we're very happy to reward it by showing it here and screening it. And so that's what we've got. We've got ECU in April. We've got the All Americas Independent Film Festival taking place in Mexico City in August. We've got the All African Independent Film Festival taking place in Kigali, Rwanda in October. And then the All Asian Independent Film Festival in Phnom Penh in Cambodia in the first week of December. So we're busy bees here, busy bees. And for you filmmakers, directors, producer, you don't escape this whole spider web of film festivals. We will be asking you after the festival to help us judge for the official selection for 2026. So just to let you know, all the official selections are made up by judges of filmmakers who have competed and won and been part of ECU. So it's very much of a family, and we look forward to inviting you to be part of the family. So I just wanted to thank everybody for participating in this. Katia, Hanadi, Omar, Audrey, Wang Zhang, and of course Molly. A special shout out to the translator Molly, because it's not an easy thing to do over Zoom. So I'm just going to get all of you filmmakers up on screen here for a second. I'm just wondering, I believe that Audrey's coming over for the film festival. Is anybody else coming over for the festival at all?
I'm planning to. I just applied to the French visa, so we'll find out.
Excellent. Well, we promise you a good time. It's like swimming in a creative swimming pool when you're here. We have great staff, great audiences, excellent filmmakers for you to meet and hang out with. And we've also got musical showcases every night where directors can hang out and talk to musicians who want to be on their film soundtracks. And as filmmakers, we know we definitely need music. So we try to make it all happen here in Paris.
Sounds fantastic. Yeah. I can't wait.
And it'll be my birthday.
I can't wait either.
It'll be my birthday weekend. So flowers, gin martinis, and things like that, chocolates, they always work fine. Many thanks to you all again. It warms my tiny little dark heart to be able to talk to you, very, very creative, talented people. The words I took away from today was liberty. We know we pay for our liberty. But also teamwork, the idea that you build a good team and you stick with the team. That's what it's all about. So I wish you all a great weekend. Thank you very much for the ECU Friday Live. I cannot wait to screen your films here in Paris. Okay, thanks to the ECU crew, Chiara, for setting this up, Rodrigo, who's not with us today but is sadly missed. Okay, have a great weekend, everybody, and thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, and best of luck at the festival.
Okay.
Yeah.